Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and I was always told I had a voice radio, so today I am showing you another exciting new card from Shining Legends, and once again, shout out to my boy Antoine Boulet, who sent me this as an exclusive before I saw it anywhere else, although maybe by now it has been shown somewhere else. I don't know. It is Hoopa from Shining Legends, and it's the first time we've ever had a Darkness type Hoopa. So, have Darkness decks got a new toy to play with? And the answer is, they might do. Now, 120 at this stage is fairly standard for a non-GX big basic. Darkness means you're not hitting anything really particularly relevant for weakness, and the weakness to fighting is a pain because of things like Marshadow and Lycanroc, and because all your Darkrai's are going to be weak to darkness, so it's nice to have a different weakness, but that's not what you're getting here. Resistance to Psychic is fine, and retreat cost of 2 is a little bit too high, but what can you do about it? You have one attack here that does 80 damage for a Darkness and a double colourless. Now, this is quite expensive, but we've got Oblivion Wing of Altul. The other Oblivion Wing of Altul, on which I did a video very, very recently, you've got Max Elixir, because of course he's a basic Pokemon, so you can accelerate energy on the bench. You can use double colourless energy, and Darkrai GX has the amazing ability where you put him from the discard onto your bench and attach a darkness energy from your discard pile, so you can then just use energy switch to whack one over to Hoopa. So, expensive attack, but we've got a myriad of different ways to accelerate energy onto him. As for the 80 damage is fine. With a choice band, you're doing 110. And then that means that with a Professor Kukui, you're doing 130, which is enough to 2-hit KO even huge GXs like Metagross that have 250. And I want to be really clear about this. The only Pokemon you'll be attacking with Hoopa are GXs and EXs because of the ability. Scoundrel Guard. But it's basically Safeguard. This Pokemon takes no damage from your opponent's EX and GX Pokemon's attacks. It's as simple as that. You use this as an attacker against EX and GX Pokemon because you have invulnerability. And that's why the attack is actually quite good. Yes, the free energy is more than we would like. And yes, 80 damage is slightly less than we would like. Usually 80 damage for free energy is not particularly good, although it's still better than Charizard GX. But the fact here is that you are able to block all attacks of EXs and GXs, meaning as long as you've got a usable attack, and this is a usable attack, you can just sit there fending off EXs and GXs while doing a fair amount of damage. Now, the thing here is quite simple in that your opponent has also got a myriad of ways to get around this. They can use something like Lysander or Escape Rope to attack something on the bench. That's a little bit of a pain. And being a basic Pokemon with an ability, it's not just Garbodor and Hexmaniac that turn this ability off. It's also Silent Lab and Alolan Muck. And if you've been watching my videos recently, you'll know that I'm expecting Alolan Muck to see a slight increase of play in the near future. But with Hoopa here, it's really quite simple. Either your opponent is going to play a way to get around this, and that means that this is not a particularly useful card, or your opponent is not going to play a way to get around this, and this is going to win you games. And it really is that simple, that straightforward, that black and white, ladies and gentlemen. If your opponent is not playing any way to get around this ability, you will win games with this deck. If you're playing against something like, let's say, Decidueye, Alolan Ninetales, Dartrix ain't going to be doing a huge amount of damage. Alolan Vulpix ain't going to be doing a huge amount of damage. So either they've got a tech to beat you, or you win the game. And that's really where Hoopa is. It really is that simple, ladies and gentlemen. You play this in your deck to try and take advantage of decks that are only playing EX and GX Pokemon. If they've got a powerful non-EX, non-GX, they're going to be able to take down Hoopa. If they're playing something like Alolan Muck, Hexmaniac, they're going to be able to take down Hoopa. But some decks aren't doing any of that. And if you find a deck that isn't doing any of that, you win the game instantly. And that's why I'm giving Hoopa a nice middle-of-the-road free Wassies. In some matchups, this will be an amazing game-breaking card that will instantly win you the game. In other matchups, it will be hot garbage. It's there. Sorry. I'd love to give you a more in-depth look, but that's essentially where it comes down. Now, if you've got anything to say about Hoopa, that's what the comment section is there for. Go nuts, be nice. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and check out my live streams at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/PTCGRadio. The most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.